Where's Josh Donaldson? He's hiding in a skin suit of Hunter Goodman.
You know,
Okay,
I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you for not even acknowledging my perfect name combo that I sent.
Gunter Hoodman, is that what you said?
Hold on. No, I gotta find it. When was that?
Here.
Oh, Jashunter Godonaldman.
Oh my gosh. That's good. PP Chicolo. Okay. Oh no, you're making me rethink about this game.
Yeah, today's
Oh,
episode
no.
is all about the trade deadline anyway, and
Oh my gosh.
the next text is Lane Thomas trade and the Scooble trade, which we'll talk about later. But
what a day, because wasn't that the same day Lane Thomas got traded in the middle of the game?
yeah, so Lane Thomas got pulled middle of the game. Tarek Scooble, because that was Saturday night, right? Yeah. I laid down to go to bed, like I was like, getting in my old sleep position, and I heard ding. I'm like, oh, I wonder what that was. And it was Tarek Scooble has been traded to the Dodgers, and I was like, nice thing to see right before I go to bed. Thanks for that.
Nightmare fuel. Saturday was such a day because we were winning. I think we were winning like 4-0. Cags and Salvi had just gone back to back, and then Avila just poops his pants.
Well, dude, that was such a weird sequence because I was listening to that on the radio, and Eisenberg was talking about, I think he's complaining about the mound and like the landing spot on the mound. I don't know what they were saying on the TV broadcast, but then he gets put on.
They were saying.
Okay, then he gets put on the IL with the forearm tightness, and my thought was, yeah, exactly. My thought was might as well happen. That's just a Royals player on the IL. What else is new? But yeah, to your air quotes there, it's kind of you kind of stink. Let's just throw you on the IL for a little bit and not have to worry about it.
I really want him to work out, but I don't want him to be a starter. Like, we've seen enough sample size of Luinder Avila. Like, let me just look up his stats in real time.
Why would you even want Luinder Avila when you have Randy Dobnak?
Dude, but actually, like, you say that?
No, he's been great. But
one is working. Yeah, one is working, like, to our immediate shock and pleasure, but then Luinder Avila is doing the opposite. Like, one that you're hoping will be good is doing terrible, and one that you're hoping will just not be bad is being amazing. So,
yeah,
Avila, so far in 2026, he has a negative .2 WAR. He has a 5.53 ERA. He's appeared in 21 games. He's pitched for 70 innings, 71 hits, and 43 earned runs.
Yeah. And I'll give
42
you
42 walks. Yeah, let me hear it.
Dobnak, 26 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts, 1.1 ER, 1.192 WHIP, so almost 1.2. 1 ERA is a 1.4 WAR. So like,
amazing.
He's been fantastic, and we talked about it. It was either last start or the start before. Oh, yeah, it was 2 starts ago when John Schreiber gave up that 3-run shot where Randy Dobnak, I think, gave you 5 shutout innings or 5 innings of 1-run base, something like that. And I'm like, and then your bullpen goes and just destroys it.
Yeah, in a season where you are just injury-laced, completely riddled with... Like, and it wasn't... We were bad before the injuries. We all know this, but... In a season where you're already just dying and you're so down bad, you're using one of your 4th or 5th spot starters, and they're giving you 5 or 6 scoreless innings, you win that game. There is no that is a must-win game. Like, that is almost as important as a Game 7 of a World Series for a team that's struggling this bad. And to your point, we had a hot stretch, and then we just have these crappy, terrible stretches. There's no average, and for the Royals to have... Yeah. for us to just completely squander any goodness that's happened so far this season. Like the little bit of good that happens, we come out of the All-Star break and we went something like 8-4 the first few series. And then we go and we get swept by the worst team in Major League Baseball, the Rockies. And no, I don't want to get too far off the subject. On Saturday, so Avila gets destroyed, Lane Thomas gets traded in the middle of the game, and that's kind of when the wheels fall off. So I just looking at our text messages because I kind of just rage text you randomly throughout the game. Cut Strom, cut Lang. Hunter Goodman is Josh Donaldson, by the way. He's the same person. Josh is Hunter, Hunter is Josh. And then cut Urseg. So it was just every single player that could have been bad was bad. We bring in let me just look at that game log real quick.
The Matt Strom trade, he has an ERA north of 7. Like that trade has been abysmal.
One of the worst moves, honestly, of Piccolo's tenure. So looking at the box score of Saturday, Avila goes 2 2/3 innings, gives up 6 earned runs. McGee, who I've never heard of, didn't even know was on our roster. We cover the Royals in real time, and I've never heard that name before.
Yeah,
once.
they signed him. I was joking with my dad because you have Easton McGee and then like Aaron Bummer. And I'm like, I swear the Royals are just going down Grand Ave and are like, hey, do you want to pitch?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Do we know where McGee came from? If he was brought up in some corresponding move?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him. I remember we briefly talked about it because I was like, wow, what a baseball name. But outside of that, it was like, oh, another body to fill out this horrible roster.
Yeah. So McGee comes in, pitches 1 1/3 inning, gives up 1 earned run. Strom comes in and pitches 1 inning, 1 earned run. Lang comes in, which was a home run, by the way. Lang comes in, 2 innings, another home run. Ursig comes in, 1 inning, 3 earned runs. So in a game that was basically already lost, we had McGee, Strom, Lang, and Urseg accounting for 6 runs. You realize if we would have brought in any competent any competent relief pitchers, I know you're asking a lot. That's 6 1/3 inning that they would have to cover through the game scoreless in order to make us in the game. But if McGee, Strom, Lang, and Urseg would have not given up 6 runs, it would have been a tie game because we scored 6 runs. It was slowly but surely.
Yeah, incompetent bullpen, incompetent decision making. Because like you can go back to the Twins series of the walk-off grand slam that happened, the ultimate grand slam of Noah Cameron having a no, going 8 innings of shutout baseball, and then Matt Cotrero was like, you know who I think I'm gonna bring in? I'm gonna bring in Lucas Urseg, who hasn't pitched much at all in the second half, and we don't need to rehash what went down with his closer position, but like Lucas Urseg, let's bring that idiot in and just immediately like that is there's been like Daniel Lynch the fourth smoking Nick Lofton in the nads with a baseball, and Matt Cotrero bringing in Lucas Urseg and Matt Strom after Noah Cameron pitches the best start of his life, and them throwing it away is the just culmination of Royals baseball in 2026.
Yeah, and that I don't remember what team, but we gave up a inside the park home run because of 3 throwing errors. That one was a close second for just completely like grasping the overall vibe and feeling of fans in general. Is just like complete hopelessness. Like every little thing you try is just gonna fail. So like Nick Lofton, it was like Nick Lofton, Cags, and I don't know. So it was terrible. It was terrible.
Let's get into these trades, and
let's do it.
I when I was sitting in Arkansas, I said something to you along the lines of, this was at the beginning of June for reference. JJ Piccolo was going to find a reason to stand pat or do virtually nothing at the trade deadline. And here we are. And the Royals didn't do nothing, but they might as well have done nothing. Looking at
Yeah,
these
I completely agree.
these deals. So let's just go through how they happened chronologically. Saturday, we already talked about it. Lane Thomas came jogging off the field middle of the 4th inning because he was traded to the Braves. So it was Lane Thomas and Bailey Falter, that goofball, to the Braves for Lucas Braun and Carter Holton, both pitchers in the minors. Lucas Braun was like the 8th ranked Braves pitcher in their system. He's going to be the 11th ranked prospect for the Royals. So pretty good there. Carter Holton was unranked. Gotcha. But pitching, I thought it was fine because how much are you going to get for Lane Thomas?
Well, let me read off these players. So Lane Thomas, just to give y'all an idea, 0.5 WAR this season. He has 10 home runs, a 232 batting average. He's accounted for 68 total runs. He has 31 runs scored and 37 batted in. He has a on-base percentage, or an OPS, I should say, of 719. Bailey Falter's terrible. He's just a name to get out of our system with Lane Thomas. You said it earlier. It's like, might as well just throw him in there. Get out of here.
I think that's exactly what happened because I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any scenario where the Braves are seeking Bailey Falter's services. So
Yeah.
I understand the one for Lane Thomas because Lane Thomas's batting average against left-handed hitters is among the best, and I know the Braves outfield statistically struggles against lefties, so he'll be a huge boost. He'll get to hang out with Mike Yastrzemski.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. So, just a quick overview. Lucas Braun, 24-year-old from California, 6 foot, 185-pound, right-handed starting pitcher, actually. So far this season, he's bounced around for 2 different teams: Gwinnett of Illinois and then Columbus of the Southern League. It doesn't show his combined numbers, but
I have his combined numbers if you want me to
let me hear it.
Speak
Yeah,
it. So yeah, combined between AA and AAA with the Braves, 3.53 ERA. He's made 19 appearances, 94 innings pitched. And in those 94 innings, 27 walks, 82 strikeouts. Again, he's going to be like the 11th ranked prospect in the Royals system, so we'll probably see him sooner rather than later.
Yep. And then Carter Holton. He is a left-handed starting pitcher, 5'11", 191, 23 years old. Looks like drafted out of Georgia back in 2021. And he is obviously formerly of the Braves, just played in the Florida Complex League, so that's the rookie ball league. So far this season, he has a 1.13 ERA. He's only appeared in 3 games and pitched for 8 innings, but he's only given up 1 earned run, 11 strikeouts. So
he's
not terrible.
He is, I would say,
whip.
He's been in A ball and he's been in rookie ball. He's somebody that we'll probably see Lucas Braun in the next, maybe this year, definitely next year. But if we see Carter Holton ever at the major league level, if we do, it won't be anytime soon. So that's my analysis.
Yeah. I mean, dude, if Easton McGee, Dobnak, Beck Way, Siebold, if all these randos can get some time, then I think it's really anybody's game as long as you can show some promise. But yeah, so that's really that big move. The only other notable move was that Chris Bubich was traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers in exchange for Carlos Duran. He's a 6'7", 230-pound pitcher. Right-handed. Oklahoma City AAA is where he's been playing. 3.38 ERA. He's appeared in 37 games. Pitched in 42 innings. He's allowed 16 earned runs, 61 strikeouts. He has a whip of 1.43. So he seems like a decent relief pitcher.
Yeah. He's having a nice season, and there's just nowhere for him to go on the Dodgers major league roster. I think we'll see him this season at the major league level. A lot of strikeouts, high strikeout pitcher. He does give up a lot of walks as well. I think for me, the fact that the Royals were able to get anything for Chris Bubich, like, I like this deal. It's a 1-to-1 deal. Chris Bubich, the odds of him pitching for the Dodgers this year are slim to none. If he does, it's going to be in the postseason in some capacity. What I'm frustrated about with this Bubich trade isn't the compensation, because again, I think you got about what you can get for somebody that is on the 60-day IL. But I'm like, wow, they should have traded Bubich a month or 12 months ago when his value was higher, because it's just a constant theme, whether it's Dayton Moore or JJ Piccolo, where it's like Whit Merrifield, who I think the Royals traded, was that in 22, 21 maybe, where you're like, oh, they probably could have traded Whit Merrifield in 2018 or 2019 and gotten a pretty nice haul for him, but kept him around. And like the core of like Eric Hosmer and Lorenzo Cain and those guys, Moose, where you didn't trade him and you just let him walk and you got basically nothing in return. So
yeah. And honestly, something you said last week was whenever Bobby Witt Jr. was, or it wasn't last week, it was a couple weeks ago, whenever Bobby Witt Jr. was being taken out of the lineup after the All-Star break, after like 2 games. It was that weekend game after the All-Star break, and you were like, 2 games out of the All-Star break, he's getting a day off because he didn't get a long enough break. Like, that's the opposite of what I want to hear. And just that mentality for Piccolo to be backing that and that being his reason, it's kind of a gross, like, it did not hit the fans' ears the way that he probably intended it to. And that is the point I want to make with what he said regarding the trades he made and the trades he didn't make. So we obviously decided to keep Michael Wacha, Seth Lugo, Vinny Pasquantino,
Daniel
all of
Lynch,
the people like
Reiber, those guys.
Yeah. So it was reported that it was reported that something like 75% of players on our roster were inquired about from other teams, and we only made 2 moves, essentially. We moved Chris Bubich and Lane Thomas. So for us to retain all those people, and then for JJ Piccolo to turn around and say, we need them to be able to be competitive in 2027. I could not care less. I do not want, like, the fan sentiment, like, it's not rocket science when you look at the fan sentiment that everyone is in agreement, where we would rather not keep our, hey, I will defend both of them because they're both very good starting pitchers. Seth Lugo's an all-star. Michael Wacha's an all-star. Michael Wacha's having a better season than Lugo right now. But to keep these pieces that are aging and going to be leaving after next season, keeping them when they're at their highest value currently, instead of trading them and really retooling for the future, that just shows me that, like, no offense, JJ, if you're listening, that's kind of borderline incompetence.
No,
like,
offense, JJ. Like that.
Yeah,
that's where
PP.
I'm at.
Offense, PP Jacolo. And it's just, it's a different side of the same coin with JJ Piccolo. You just said it yourself with the Dayton Moore, like, vibe feeling moves that he's making and not making. It seems like there's just something wrong. It seems like that he's tied down to this team. He's tied down to the decisions he's made, and he's just refusing to take ownership and make any big moves. If that's makes sense to you, because it seems like he's just scared to do anything because he wants to be average and look competitive. Because if the Royals would have performed to their potential this season, it wouldn't be as bad as it is now. Like, that was a stupid. If we played good, we'd be good. But
you heard it here first.
But it's like, that's basically what JJ Piccolo is saying. Like,
well,
if we were good, we'd be good, and next year, if we're good, we'll be good.
So
That's like how it sounds.
Here's where I'm at. They're gonna mess up with Seth Lugo. They should have, like, hindsight being 2020, should have traded him last year because he's just gotten worse. He's just gotten worse, and maybe next year there'll be trade value because I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm optimistic about the 2027 Royals. I'm not going to do that. And your logic being JJ Piccolo's logic is we need these pieces to be competitive in 2027. Well, you have these pieces in 2026 and you're not competitive in 2026. So to think that this is the team that's going to get us over the hump, that's just delusional. Like, you are chasing what has now looked like a fluke season in 2024. You're chasing that and expecting that to occur again with the roster that we have. And we are now seeing that 2025, yeah, there were injuries, but still came up short. You brought much of that same roster into 26. They are horrendous. They were horrendous before all of the injuries started stacking up. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that in 2027 everything's just going to be fine and 2026 just didn't go our way. I think for me, my takeaway for this trade deadline, and we've kind of been talking about it anyway, and you've hinted at it a lot too, this leadership has to go. This regime has to change. We cannot have JJ Piccolo lead this team any longer. It's clear.
Yeah.
And we were going to get to the trade deadline to see how it went, and it went about how we expected it to, and they might as well have done nothing.
Yeah. And kind of there's two positives to this. And it's a negative. This is an overall negative for this season and for next season, but there are positives to draw from it. And the two positives are JJ Piccolo and his incompetence did not ruin this team and its pieces for the future making bad trades. I'm sorry. Lane Thomas isn't going to bring a ton of value in, even if it is a trade deadline move. I'm not expecting much, if anything, from Lucas Braun or Carter Holton from that move. Honestly, same thing with the Chris Bubich move. He should have been dealt a year or two ago. We should have gotten someone. There was once a conversation that you could trade 1-for-1 Chris Bubich for players like Duran.
Yeah.
And we're getting back Carlos Duran. And
it's like when JJ Piccolo traded for Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah, but it's the Temu version of Julio Rodriguez, bro. Oh my gosh. So what I'm getting at is, like, these are not going to move the needle. And him being married to a bad team, like, what does that kind of tell you? It tells me that he's bad. He likes bad. And I don't like bad as a fan. And the positive that I'm drawing from it is that we officially think, it makes me sad to even say it, but it makes me know that this is not what's the future. Like, this regime is not the future of the Royals. And I'm actually kind of excited for the day that we hear that he's getting let go. Because guess what? We cover the Royals and we get to talk about it. We get to be excited about what's next. But what's unfortunate is the fact that now we have to sit through more of this and just more drawn out badness, because I don't think John Sherman saw what happened and is ready to just, like, start going firing. Like, he's not ready to go start firing people. I think he's more worried about things off the field than he is stuff on the field. And that's why it's so annoying being stuck in a poverty organization that has bad players and they're thinking that those bad players are what's going to help them in the future. Like, looking at 2026, Jack Caglione is doing better. Carter Jensen is still doing good. But then everything else is pretty bad. Like, players that you don't want to get hurt or getting injuries that can linger. Like Bobby has a knee issue. Some players have had hamstring pulls. Like Salvi's probably aging himself out. He might be retiring after this year. Pasquantino's hurt, not in the lineup at all. Recent days.
Yeah, back on the IL.
Garcia's still hurt. Yeah, back on IL. Garcia's hurt. Like the only people that have lasted all season so far is like Isaac Collins, who has gotten hurt a couple times, but he hasn't seen any IL time. Starling Marte is out there in right field, but he's
played like 12 games. So
he's appeared in like 20 games total. Lane Thomas is gone.
Kyle Isbell's back.
Nick Lofton is doing well. Kyle Isbell is back, so that's fun. But yeah, breaking news. But like Michael Massey's been not that good. He's been an on-base person, but he's not accounting for any runs.
Yeah.
Like this team just is not.
But that those
like shouldn't John Sherman hold himself to his own words when he says, we got rid of Dayton because he says, I know what a championship team looks like, and John Sherman says, well, I want to know what a wild card team looks like.
Yeah.
You moved on from that. You hit in one's almost like it's at this point it feels like a fluke season. You hit the playoffs. You swept somebody, and it just created this delusion that you're going to be okay. And every single time the Royals play okay, it makes me think that it's saving people's jobs. Because midseason firings are not impossible to happen. It's not like it's like the most like foreign thing in the history of the world. But I'm yapping a lot. But all I'm trying to say is it does not seem like the Royals are going to... It doesn't seem like John Sherman is going to take any action like that, like firing Cotrero or Piccolo right now. Seems like that's going to be something that has to happen. Like, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know what it would take to get them fired, because I feel like it would have to be something treacherous in season. Like they would have to start 5-30 next season, I feel like.
Well, here's what I think is going to happen. I just sitting here on August 4th, time of recording, and they're going to make the decision to retain JJ Piccolo and Matt Cotrero. And then what's going to happen is the Royals are going to start off terrible in 2027. Two things are going to happen. They're going to start off terrible in 2027. And then May 7th, Matt Cotrero is going to get fired. Or it's going to be baseball's not going to even start until June 7th because of a lockout. And they're going to be like, oh, you're just be happy that baseball's back, and we're just gonna like be told to like not even worry about it or something like that. But my thought is like John Sherman should be getting on the phone with like Theo Epstein and being like, hey man, what are you doing? I know that you turned the Boston Red Sox around and you broke an 86-year World Series drought. Hey, I know that you built a Cubs team that broke a 108-year World Series drought for the Cubs. Can you please do something and build a championship perennial playoff contending team? That's if John Sherman was serious about winning. And that's a weird thing to come out of my mouth because I have been pretty supportive of him, but right now I'm just like, what are we doing? You would be making that big splash higher.
Yeah, he's just standing idly by while, crap is hitting the fan in front of his very eyes, but he's just like continuing to trust the same people. Like I said, it seems like JJ Piccolo is the other side of the same coin. I don't know if that's the right phrasing for that saying. Yeah. I've never used it before. Well, but like he comes in and he's getting one mentality, and then it's like a different flavor of the same chip, and it's like it's sad because I agree. It is weird to kind of say that, and so far he's been a great owner. Most of the moves he's made organizationally, like with the office, with like actual team morale, has been good.
Yeah, Max Coley,
but Max Coley. If he were to the thing is, now that the trade deadline is come and gone, and we actually did nothing. My immediate gut feeling as a Royals fan is complete and utter disappointment. And it sucks because I do like this team. We talked about this before. we like this team. We like the roster. They're all likable people. If they were all playing in their prime, doing really well. We got the World Baseball Classic MVP, Michael Garcia, who should be playing at an elite level, who just won a Gold Glove, and he's just not even on the lineup at all because he's hurt. Bobby Witt Jr. hasn't been playing, or at least he hasn't been playing to his standards. Vinny Pasquantino is MIA. Salvador Perez has regressed tremendously, even though he is the home run king. Credit to him, but it's just like too little. Like I say in my recaps all the time that it's too little, too late, and that's what this trade deadline was. It was too little, too late. There's so many moves that should have been made whenever the value is higher, and it's just showing it's not even the baseball IQ, it's the Brett Veach IQ. We're so familiar with seeing, like, I got to give Brett Veach with the Chiefs and other organizations so much credit for seeing the writing on the wall and being proactive about it and knowing that, like, there's some questionable decisions that they make. Like, Travis Kelce's coming back and he's old. This is kind of like is it gonna be a Salvador Perez moment where he just regresses a ton, but he's still doing his job and then some. That's going to be a move that we're not going to see many negatives at all. Like, he might be moving slower out there or something, but you know what it is. But whereas Salvi, he's out there, he's being a good catcher, but then on offense, all he's been able to provide all season is the occasional home run. So he hasn't been accounting for runs, which is like his.
Hey, he hit a triple
like
the other
shtick.
Day. Come on now.
Yeah, I know. The video that the Royals posted was so perfect, where the little kid's like, "I'm gonna take a nap here. I'm gonna lay down, take a nap." It's so funny. But like, yeah. I always reference the Tyreek Hill trade. I always reference like the L'Jarius Sneed trade because they have such a smart general manager IQ. It's
also the beauty of a salary cap, where you go, I do want to have Tyreek Hill on my team, but I also need X, Y, and Z, so I'm not going to make you the highest paid wide receiver.
Yeah. Man, we were on our drive down to Dallas.
I remember
when that news came through. What a good time to be alive.
Just give me a letter grade. Give me a letter grade of this Royals trade deadline.
F minus.
F minus. Okay. I would give it an F as well. And it's not because of the moves that they made. It's because of the moves that they didn't make.
Exactly. That's my grade too. Like, I'm not grading these as an F minus. I'm grading the Royals' efforts towards the trade deadline as a whole.
Yeah.
A F minus.
Yeah.
Like, trade deadline, seeing all the other teams. That's a good segue. I do want to read off some of the big names that were traded, but just looking at the Royals in general, you see all these other teams that are willing to sacrifice players for future compensation for prospects and stuff like that. The Royals just did not do that, and that's the opposite of what we wanted. Like, if I could have had my way, honestly, oh my gosh, if I could have had my way, I was team trade Seth Lugo last year. I was team trade Bubic over the offseason. Like, you and I were there. Obviously, that's not where we're at, but I think every Royals fan would have said, what would get you more excited? This scenario that we're in right now, no leadership changes being made, no significant splashes in the trade deadline, no fun free agent signings over the offseason, or 2026 is just thrown into the dumpster and we have to end up firing the GM, firing the manager, and trading everybody away. I'm pretty sure every Royals fan signing up for the second one, because I would rather see a big splash than a little splash and continuing the crap. So, do you have any rebuttal before I start reading off some of the big names?
I don't. Let's go through those some of those bigger trades.
Okay, so I'm just going to read off some of the big names. This is just a post that they posted on Instagram, biggest trades of the trade deadline so far. And this is obviously a wrap. So some of them are in the division. So there's some names that I'd like to kind of say after I say them. But starting with Luis Arias, he's going from the Giants to the Phillies. Adley Rutschman is going from the Orioles to the Red Sox. That's probably one of the biggest ones besides Skubal, because that's one of the names of the franchises. That's like one of the faces. That's like if we were to trade.
Adley Rushman got drafted the same draft as Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah, and he's very good. So it's obviously regressed a little bit, but he's still an all-star. Tarek Skubal goes from Detroit to the Dodgers. Disgusting. Lockout incoming. Kevin Gausman is going from the Blue Jays to the Cubbies. Freddie Peralta is going from the Mets to the Rays. Jose Soriano is going from the Angels to the Blue Jays. Robbie Ray is going from the Giants to the Padres. Marcelo Mayer is going from the Red Sox to the Giants. Luke Weaver, he's a Pirate from the Mets. Varsho, Dalton Varsho, he's going from the Blue Jays to the Astros. Luis Garcia Jr. is going from the Nats to the Yankees. Luis Castillo from Seattle is going to the White Sox. Dustin May from the Cardinals is now a Brewer. Ramos is going from the Giants to the Yankees. Joe Adell, who I wanted in a Royals uniform, is going from the Angels to the Guardians. Liam Hicks is going from the Marlins to the Rays. Casey Mize is going from the Detroit Tigers to the Padres. Taylor Ward, another Oriole. He was a hot name. He's not played well this season, but he is actually good at baseball. He is now a Seattle Mariner. And AJ Minter is going from the Mets to the Twins. A couple other ones that you might know the name. Lars Nootbaar of the Cards is now in Arizona. Jeff Hoffman of the Blue Jays is now a Twin. Foster Griffin of the Nats is now a Cleveland Guardian. Brenton Doyle of the Rockies, he is now a White Sox. So that really is everything that is regarding the Royals, or the trade deadline in general, but the Royals specific ones within the division. Luis Castillo of the Mariners, he is now a White Sox. Brenton Doyle is a White Sox. Foster Griffin is a Guardian now.
Foster Griffin. That's
Jeff
so
Hoffman
funny,
is a
too.
Twin. Yeah, I know.
Former Royal.
Yep.
And
yeah, former Royal that
figured it out after he left. Shocker.
Just like every other player. Jeff Hoffman is now a Twin. Nathaniel Lowe is now a Guardian. And then I think that might be it.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe Adell. Joe Adell is a Guardian. And AJ Minter is a Twin. So those are names that we'll be seeing for the rest of this season. I'm not sure how many of these players are rental players, meaning I don't know how much club control any of these teams have after these trades. But a few of the names I remember, Taylor Ward, I was excited about possibly seeing him. That would have, if he would have been playing, if we traded for him or signed him over the offseason and he was playing how he actually is this year, I would have been astronomically pissed. So I guess it's a good move. But Joe Adell, another guy, robbed 3 home runs in one game earlier this season. He's a Guardian, so that's not fun. But
I mean,
looks like some of these teams retooled their bullpens, got 3 new closers. So
all of that would have a much bigger impact to me if the Royals were good. But since they're not, I'm just like, oh. But also, you're kind of like, oh, look at these, like, look at the standings and how they sit right now. And then go back to our conversations in February. The standings in the AL Central are literally flipped upside down as to what they were projected to be. So, yeah, that's cool, yeah. I guess. That
yeah. And what I told you was I'm looking at these trades and all I'm seeing is the Royals still suck. 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 And it's really disappointing because there's literally so many things we could have done. Imagine, this is a fun exercise. Imagine you're playing MLB The Show and this is one of your teams. This is your franchise and you are doing astronomically terrible. Imagine all the trades you could make. It makes me just so disappointed, not only in JJ Piccolo, but our scouting department as a whole. You really looked at all 30 teams, or 29 teams besides you. You looked at all their farm systems. You looked at all their rosters. and there wasn't a couple players that you thought would be a good trade. Like, I can't tell you how disappointed I am.
Well, I think I think it's more of like just being not even that, because I guarantee you teams were putting together nice packages for Michael Waka. But to be like, no, we need him for next year because we're definitely going to be competitive. And like, you can't fault a GM for expecting to be competitive. Like, you can't. But you also have to be realistic with yourself.
Yeah.
But no, I think, like, let's just talk about like Tarek Skubal to the Dodgers. Is
lockout incoming.
Nobody's surprised that he went to the Dodgers. Nobody's going to pretend to be surprised that he went to the Dodgers. But yeah, to your point, lockout incoming. If it wasn't evident before the trade, it's evident now, because I know a lot of people are like, well, he's just a rental player. But I'm like, I am not stupid. And I know that Tarek Skubal is just going to sign an extension with the Dodgers at the end of the year, if not before the end of the year. Like, don't do that to me. I'm not. We're not dumb. We know how this story ends.
I completely expect him to sign for at least 3 years. If it's anything below 3 years, I'm going to be shocked, to be completely honest.
I mean,
he's only 29 years old, turning 30.
I would expect them to sign him till he's 35 or 36, honestly. Sign to a longer deal, because like outside of like he's back-to-back AL Cy Young winner. He had health issues this year, but he's on pace to 200 strikeouts again. Just Tarek Skubal, congrats on your World Series championship in 2026. Congrats, Chris Bubich, on your World Series championship.
Congrats to Lane Thomas making it to a division winning team right now.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta say, that's one of the only other things is I'm actually excited for those guys. Like Lane Thomas, he was not a Royal for a long time. It's not like he provided any insane memories besides that grand slam he hit. But it's just kind of like, what are you gonna say?
I'm just like, I am obviously, as a Royals fan, like, I've watched the Royals make the postseason 3 times in my life. We've talked about it. Everybody knows that. Everybody's living the same life as me. So, like, when you get to October, you watch teams that aren't the Royals typically. And you're like, yeah, cool, whatever, like, whoever wins. But now I'm like, I'm going to be very sour watching the MLB postseason this year, knowing that, like, the inevitability of the Dodgers three-peating. And then I'm more like gearing up for what the offseason looks like and what next season looks like than I am like, oh, I'm super excited for this stretch run and what this postseason means. I'm like, obviously I'm like rooting for everybody but the Dodgers, but it's just, I don't know, it's a weird vibe this year.
Yeah. This year kind of feels like everybody's just pulling everything out of their butt at the last minute, and they're just kind of like accidentally doing well. I told you the reference before. There's the dad from Rick and Morty. Like, there's a scene where like aliens are invading, like the currency of the world drops to zero, everything's falling apart, and he's scared, so he starts crawling away, and he just ends up crawling all the way home from work. And the wife is like, Jerry, are you okay? And he was like, yeah, I'm fine. I just started crawling and it just kept working, so I just kept crawling. So it seems like the entire league is like that right now. Like the Cardinals being okay, the White Sox being a division winner. It's like they're like, well, we just aren't sucking and it just keeps working. So we're just going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
And then all the other teams are either just like, the National League is a completely different side of it. It's like a Two Americas thing. The National League is happening and it's a super competitive, actually really good product on the field, whereas the American League is happening, it's all terrible. Everything is terrible except for the Red Sox are just destroying everybody. They like 3 games swept almost all of the current playoff teams. The Yankees are good, but not like looking insanely good. Like I'm expecting the Yankees to not make the World Series because they're gonna choke in the playoffs like they always do, which is gonna be hilarious. But the White Sox are probably frauds. give me any other team in the field besides the White Sox, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
I'm just looking at. Yeah, go ahead.
well, that's like looking at the American League in general. Like, take the Dodgers out of the equation, and it's hard for me to even imagine an American League team winning the World Series because it's like,
except for the Red Sox. I'm kind of buying into the Red Sox.
maybe I mean, cliche baseball is like be hot at the right time, and that's what the Red Sox are doing. And yeah,
It is also the middle of the summer, so maybe they just play better in the heat than some other teams. But I think I'm not sure I'd want to be getting super hot now, because this is the recipe for what happened to the Guardians, where they actually get in, but then they get beat quickly by an actual playoff team that's just been good all year.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what's so weird. Like last year, like the Reds made the postseason, and you're like, nobody on earth outside of Cincinnati was like, yeah, these Reds are a team to watch out for.
Yeah.
So, the White Sox, I did see a Chicago radio station that was like, the White Sox are the team that you're not going to want to play in the American League. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I hope I'm wrong. Like, it would be, how funny would it be if we're sitting here boo-hooing about like Dodgers three-peat and the Chicago White Sox go and win the 2026 World Series?
Hey, man, I want to say anybody but the Dodgers, but you know what? Not to be a lame, like, this is kind of a weird take from a Royals fan, but I mean, I like good baseball. I like good sports. I like good products. I'm not at all saying that the Dodgers didn't ruin baseball. Like, one of our clips here soon, I'm going to pull the clip of Dave Roberts joking and laughing at the fact that they're ruining baseball. If you remember that speech, post-game speech. Like, there's a point where they're being allowed to get away with this. And you kind of got to give them credit. Like, you kind of got to give them credit for doing what they can with what they have. And, like, this GM is actually kind of going off. Like, of course, the numbers are insane, and it's probably going to bite them in the butt. Yeah. Like, it's probably going to bite them in the butt at some point in the future. Probably not in a way that's going to be detrimental. But, dude, if they three-peat, on some level, who cares? They literally just, everybody wanted to be a Dodger, because not only did they know they could make all the money that they ever wanted, but they're also just going to win World Series and three-peat. Like, there's a part of me that's kind of rooting for the Dodgers to win. I've always kind of been like, I hope the bad guy wins, because you never see it. Like, watching Star Wars, I enjoy watching the bad guys get away with it. Watching, any TV show, I like watching the bad guys just kind of go off. And then, like, I just finished a couple series of TV shows where, like, usually the bad guy wins and they get away, but then at the end there's like this big thing. That would kind of be the equivalent if the Dodgers lost the World Series right now. Like, at this point, it would ruin baseball so badly that I kind of want that to happen. Like, this season's lost from a Royals fan perspective. Our regime is terrible. Our GM needs to get fired. Our manager needs to get fired. Our scouting department needs to get fired. And our entire injury staff and training staff needs to get fired, to be completely honest.
I think from a lockout narrative perspective, best case scenario is that the Dodgers win the World Series in 2026. The Dodgers are not doing anything wrong by definition, by rule.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything wrong. And I'm not even upset
Morally.
with the Dodgers players, right?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts and Shohei. I love watching those players. I loved watching the Golden State Warriors in the 2010s and the Cleveland Cavaliers in the 2010s. But you know what's not? Like, Steph Curry is great. You know what's not good for NBA? To day one of the season be like, hey, I feel 100% that the Golden State Warriors are going to be in the World Series. You know what's not? And I know they're structured differently, but it's not good to be like, oh, the Dodgers are going to be in the World Series. And it's not
Yeah.
even, again, just I got off a little bit there, but it's the system. It's not the Dodgers, it's the system. And the Dodgers
Yeah.
have played into the system and played into the rules that have been placed. And, they've found kind of shady loopholes to get there with the deferred payments and everything they have going on there. That's the that is, if I have any sort of beef with the Dodgers, it's that. But
Yeah.
they have the best TV deal, and they have all kinds of revenue coming into them that other teams don't. It is literally we cannot sit here and pretend that, yes, the Dodgers are playing within the rules that have been established. We can't pretend that it's not completely broken and needs to be fixed.
Oh yeah. It just reminds me of, players going to play for the Patriots or players going to play for the Chiefs, because in a league that has the good structure, there's actually the only negative is you're chasing a championship, and it's okay whenever there's fairness. Every team in the league should be allowed to have a bid on the top free agent. Every team should be in on the bidding war for big trades. And that's just not the case. So real quick, I know we're running long. I wanted to ask you the question of, lockout is basically inevitable.
Yeah.
Kind of give me a couple main hangups that you foresee, since you're kind of the locked in on the lockout. I'd like to hear a couple of the main hangups that you think are currently the issue with, yeah, you heard me. The main issues that you're going to foresee being the hangups that cause a lockout. And if we go to a lockout, kind of not necessarily time frame, but what events will have to happen, and kind of in chronological order, what would those events be? And then if a season plays out, if we have some abbreviated season, or if not, kind of what would those scenarios end up looking like?
Okay. So there is one hang up. There's one hang up, and it is the salary cap. That is it. That is what's going to cause this. The owners want it. The players absolutely do not want it, right? This is the same thing that happened in the 90s. The owners wanted the salary cap. Players said, heck no. Lost a World Series, had a strike, had all kinds of issues, kind of ruined baseball for a little bit. That is where we're at. The players have the strongest union in sports.
So what you're saying is a lockout, chronological event timetable, it's not going to be we're not going to be at Thanksgiving hearing, oh, we're officially in a lockout. The lockout would kind of...
December 1st will be when that happens. When the CBA expires, that will likely be when you see the owners have locked the players out. That's likely when you will see that, is day one.
Okay. Because it reminded me, what you're saying, it reminded me of the Chris Jones situation when he was sitting out of games when the season started. I was wondering if it's going to be kind of that scenario where spring training's supposed to be starting soon and there hasn't been an agreement signed, so then they have to go to lockout. Actually, that's the terminology they use. So you're telling me
the holdout
when the CBA expires. Yeah. So December 1st is when that would happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Two things can happen. I don't know if it's ever happened in MLB. I don't think it has, but I know this happened in the WNBA, where the WNBA and the players were negotiating a new CBA agreement, and instead of a lockout or a strike while they were negotiating that, they were just continuing on the old CBA and were still operating in good faith. So that is something that can happen, but the relationship between the owners and the players has always been so far apart with stuff like this, and it's been so ugly that I think day one, December 1st, owners are going to be like, all right, boom, get out. And you're going to see in February, you're going to see Vinny Pasquantino down in Miami working out at a high school field because he can't go work out at the Royals facilities. That's what you're going to see.
I see what you're saying. So then players are they're independent contractors. They kind of just have to they're gifted the ability to use the MLB amenities
Yeah.
per the CBA, but when there is no agreement, they are revoked all of those fun little
They
additives.
lose everything. Yep.
And they are okay with not having those amenities for that lockout period because they could potentially argue their case and then get no salary cap, which would get them more money.
So, yeah, exactly. And here's what I hope happens. Here's what I think is going to happen. When you go back to the 2023-22, whatever the heck the last CBA negotiations were, where we did have a lockout and we did have the season did start late. We played 162 games, but you had I think it's 8 representatives that are like the leadership of the Players Association. All of them, like, they unanimously voted against the MLB's proposal, but the rank and file, the rank and file. So each team also has a representative in addition to the like 8 that are kind of in charge. And so there's like 38 votes. And I think it was like 23 of the 30 team representatives voted for it because they're like, we just want to get back to baseball. So like, I'm kind of wondering if that's going to be the case here, where they're going to be like, I might be naive in saying that, but where like the leadership is going to be like, heck no, but the rank and file is going to be like, let's just do it. I want to play baseball. Because when you think of the salary cap, if you are, let's say you're Kyle Isbell. Kyle Isbell's never going to make he's never going to get a 5-year, $260 million contract, right? That's who he is. But if you're Bryce Harper, you're going to get, and he's gotten that mega deal. Like Juan Soto's getting a $760 million deal. Juan Soto, Nick Lofton, those players are not getting that. So I think players like that are going to be like more inclined to accept
to say,
a salary cap. Yeah. And we need to figure this out. I have no idea who the Royals representative is. I just assumed it was Vinny Pasquantino.
I think it's Vinny Pasquantino.
Yeah. But I'm expecting players like that because like most players are not going to get those crazy deals. So I think you might have like some of the league that's like, yeah, we can do that. And I'm also with a salary cap. Like nobody's ever looked at the other leagues and been like, a salary cap is bad. Let's get rid of the salary cap. So like the fact that we pretend it's this horrible thing for Major League Baseball, just like I just can't get behind that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like it's not gonna change. All it's gonna do is make it more competitive, just like every other league.
Yeah.
And that's all we ever asked for because right now we have like, I don't know. Because what I was going to say when you were kind of talking about the players, it kind of plays into that exact comment. I was going to say, the rich get richer mentality. Like the majority, the 98% of the league is not making Dodgers money. That's one team that's paying 10 players insane amounts of money. The Mets are one team paying 5 players insane amounts of money. So that's 15 of the 708. I don't know how many players are on active rosters.
So 26 times 30, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's a big number, and that's a small percentage of who's actually being represented in the camp of we want to make money, we don't want to agree, we want to make more money. But everyone is all the players are going to kind of side with that player mentality because they all kind of think maybe someday I could make that much money. I want what's best for my brothers, like the guys in my clubhouse. I want what's best for them. But at the same time, Kyle Isbell, Nick Lofton, Vinny Pasquantino, all these players are never going to make that kind of money. There's only one player on the Royals that could make that money, and that's Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt Jr., if there's no agreement, he could he could walk here in the next few years and go sign with a team. If there's no salary cap, dude, if there's no salary cap, he's the next shortstop for the Dodgers.
He's leaving. Yeah,
he's the next shortstop for the Mets or something.
Yeah.
If there's no salary cap, because if you're Bobby Witt Jr., you're looking at it and you're thinking, I could make my 20 staying here in Kansas City being a good boy, or I could go be, a World Series every, I could go 5-peat with the Dodgers if I go be their shortstop, and I can make $50 million doing it. Yep. So obviously the writing's on the wall. If I'm a player, I'm doing that. That's what you gave me. So,
and that's where it's hard to be mad at the players too, because if you're Juan Soto and somebody's like, I would like to offer you $760 million to play for the New York Mets, I'm not going to be like, well, I'm from Kansas City and they offered me 250. I'm going to go there. Like, that's not happening. And you think about it, like Juan Soto, his children's children are just never going to have to worry. So like, that's where I'm like, dude, go get your money. But we got to fix the system.
Yeah. Like now. And what sucks is like, I want to be excited about it, but from a Royals fan perspective, our team still sucks.
Yep.
Our team still sucks. Even if there is a salary cap, guess what? We still suck. And we have to be able to see some big change. And I don't trust the leadership that we have to recognize the moves that need to be made. So if you want to get optimistic about 2027, let's start boycotting the current regime. Let's start hopping in the comments and demanding people get fired.
Yeah. And that's like you talking about like, okay, the Dodgers are outspinning everybody. But then you look at the Brewers, who are like middle of the road payroll wise. They're tied for the best record in the league. But you have to like, they've figured out how to operate successfully within the what's the word? Within their why am I
within their confinements?
Within their confinements. That's not And like the Royals just haven't figured that out. I've talked about it a lot. Like the Royals could absolutely be the Brewers. The Royals could absolutely be the Rays. They just haven't figured it out. But then I go, they shouldn't have to operate like this because the Dodgers can operate like this. Why are the Dodgers able to operate like this, but the Milwaukee Brewers have to do this? Or the Rays have to go, we're going to have the best farm system in the league, and we're going to develop pitching, we're going to develop great talent, and we're going to maximize those players for 4 or 5 years, and then we're going to trade them at the peak of their value and just start over. You shouldn't have to do that. It's a way, you're surviving. You shouldn't have to do that, though.
Yeah. I love that, though. Like, it seems like in a league with no salary cap, you don't have to have big brain moments. And the people with big brains like Brett Veach, he's able to maximize the value of all of his pieces, all 53 on the roster. Every single person is accounted for. Every single penny is accounted for. And it's like, where is that mentality with the Royals organization? Like, they literally could look across the street and start asking, what do we need to do better? And we have players that are good.
Yeah.
That could be of service to the Royals. We have a roster that shouldn't be this bad. And for some reason it is.
Well, yeah.
So,
and I'm kind of like, I'm honestly, if I'm John Sherman, I feel like I would have been like, hey, JJ, tear it down. Just tear it down. These are the players you can't trade. Gut it.
I would not give JJ those reins, bro.
Yeah. I maybe not, but
I mean, he could probably do a satisfactory job if you really just said, hey, make your money. This is the moment. We are changing the Royals. This is going to be like a not world-changing thing, but it's going to be a story that we talk about forever. We are gutting it. We are doing everything in our power to trade everyone we can. I want I literally, if you told me that we traded everyone except for like 10 players, I legitimately would have been actually excited. Like, I would have been ecstatic. Give me these. We're already having a bunch of randoms that I've never heard of playing and starting. We had, what is Velasquez starting at shortstop?
Legend.
That's my king, Bobby Witt Jr.'s position, and we're having Velasquez play it. Like, no offense to Velasquez, you're probably a nice guy. You probably can tell a good joke here or there. You're not Bobby Witt Jr., and you're not going to win a World Series with the Royals. So, do I want to see you in a uniform? Absolutely not. So, it's like, does John Sherman just look at the numbers? Like, did Colin Maxey come in and say, listen, this is where we are as an organization. If we keep doing what we're doing and we keep doing this and it doesn't get worse, but we still sell this many jerseys, we'll make this much money and we can have this much in our budget for this year. Like, is that all they're trying to scrape by until they get the new stadium and then they're going to reshape the whole regime? I think there's a 0% chance. Well, it's a non-zero, of course. I think there's like a 1% chance that Quatrero and Pico, like, I think that there's a 1% chance that this regime and this team and this combination of who we got is who we will be seeing play in the new stadium whenever that time comes.
You could take that a step further into the roster. I think there's going to be like 3 players that are on this roster right now that will be.
Well, yeah. I meant to say that. So, like, this regime with the management and the roster and everything, there's going to be Bobby, maybe Cags if he lasts that long, maybe Carter Jensen if he lasts that long. But Bobby, of course, if he stays, if he allows us by the good grace of God. So, yeah, I just am so like underwhelmed by how this went, and it's so disappointing because out of all the things this season that we could have gotten excited about, all the things that like we've talked about already, where it's like Salvador Perez, he broke a Royals record. That's going to be remembered forever. That is a fact that we're not able to get away from. Carter Jensen and Caglione are coming into their own even more, so this is a good positive for them. Cag got to go to the home run derby. You know, Waka and Bobby got to have a good time at the All-Star game, so there are a few positives to pull from this season, but the negatives are unfortunately just outweighing the positives astronomically. If you're going to the Royals game tonight for the hot dogs, the $13 tickets to go get your Salvi record-breaking poster thing, please just boo. Boo and boo and boo as much as your lungs can boo.
Just don't go.
Boy, that's one way to stick it to him. Hey,
vote with your wallet. That's it.
Facts. Did you know that the Royals are facing Tarek Skubal at his LA home debut on the 10th of August?
I'm glad. I think Tarek Skubal's actual like team debut is tonight.
Yeah, I think you're right. And then I think I heard that his debut would be tonight, Tuesday the 4th, and then they were going to let him sit until the 10th so that he can have his game 1 there. So let me find an honorable mention. Breaking news, Twitter check, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Oh my goodness, thank you, Jesus. This is coming from the Royals Twitter. Roster moves. Bobby Witt Jr. has been reinstated from the injured list. Jose Quaz has been recalled from Omaha. Infielder Andrew Velasquez has been designated for assignment. Left-handed pitcher Matt Strom has been designated for assignment.
Wow.
Yup.
Wow.
Yup.
Okay.
Yup. Amazing.
It stinks. Like, obviously we wanted the Matt Strom thing to work out, but like that in a week of wrong decisions, that's the correct decision.
Yes. So that's one of the 3. Cut Lang and cut Urseg next, please. And that was 10 minutes ago that news came through. Connor Siebold's been shut down. He's on the 60-day IL. Yeah, Luinder Avila's on the IL. Kyle Isbell is back. Aaron Bummer's been selected from Omaha. Let's just real quick do a quick little roster read.
I don't think
Let's check this active. Bummer, Cameron, Cruz, Dobnak, Urseg, Lang, Lugo, Lynch, McGee, Pearson, Schreiber, Waka, Jensen, Maley. Where's Salvi? Is Salvi hurt? He's not on the active roster on the website.
I don't know.
Okay. Jensen, Maley, Lofton, Massey, Rojas, Tolbert, Cags, Collins, Isbell, Marte, Rave. Oh my gosh. Hey man. It is what it is, brother. So it looks like that's it for Royals news.
What's your honorable mention?
Honorable mention is that Chiefs season is in full swing. Training camp is happening right now. If you are a Kansas City fan and you're looking for something to be excited about, be excited for our Everybody Loves Royals videos coming out. Yeah. Make sure you still watch our shorts, still watch our podcast, listen to every second. You know you love it. But I don't really have anything lined up. I mean, honorable mention is the Chiefs are playing. Fancy sandwiches are underrated. That was actually really good.
Yeah.
And shout out this the weather. Shout out clouds. My honorable mention is clouds. Every time there's clouds outside, I actually have the ability to go outside and not get drenched in sweat in 2 seconds. So, Fancy sandwiches, clouds, and the Chiefs. Those are my honorable mentions. What do you got?
Mine's Blue Springs Lake. My family rented a pontoon out there for my wife's birthday. Had a blast. Had a lot of adventures. But it's a good time. I hadn't been on a boat, like a pontoon boat, in like 15 or 20 years. So it was nice to get back out there. Did some swimming. It also wasn't like unbelievably hot. So I think as far as like days to go spend some time outside, we hit the nail on the head. So that's my honorable mention.
There you go. Did you feed the carp?
Oh, you gotta feed the carp.
Dude, they're so cute. I remember whenever I was a kid, my old pastor, we're out there with his family and we're feeding him. And he says, stick your feet down in there. It's hilarious. It feels weird. And I was like, are you kidding me? I'm not doing that. They're going to bite my feet. And he was like, They don't have teeth. They don't have teeth. They just suck. And so I shoved my foot down in the water and they just start sucking on your toes and it's weird. So if you're into that kind of thing, Blue Springs Lake.
Yeah, there you go. Go to the marina and have yourself a good old time, you weirdos.
Oh, man. All right. That's all we got, people. Thank you for tuning in. We love you. Everybody loves you. Everybody loves the Royals. Everybody loves accountability, which we haven't gotten much of. But anyway,
we're changing our podcast name to Everybody Tolerates Royals. that's what we're doing. And
oh my gosh, we should do that. I could redesign our logo and have that on our profile pictures today. Amazing. All right, let's get out of here, brother. Good work this week. I will see you soon.
All right, see ya.
Peace.